Robin asks, if you were given $1 million to spend on Airsoft, what would you buy?
There is no Airsoft, which is $1 million, that's for sure. But I think what I would do is I would buy a super fancy real steel stock, mill it out, and try to fit a SSG inside. With the rest of the $1 million, I guess I would just use it to travel the world and play Airsoft with the sniper rifle then.
Lushan Squits wants to know, what's a good but cheap Airsoft sniper rifle?
Cheap but good. Cheap but good is really hard. You can go with a cheap one, but then you have to invest a ton of upgrade parts. So maybe the A&K SVD, probably the best bang for your buck, but then it's insanely long and the reloading, like it's a little bit awkward because the clip is so small. I think there is no cheap good Airsoft sniper. This just doesn't exist. But in the end, I would, not even start with a sniper. I would just go with an AHE, some budget AHE. There are some really good brands out there which make AHEs that are great out of the box. This way you can try, if you like the sport Airsoft, and then, you can try sniping. But I'm telling you, it's challenging. It's hard.
One Lost Prophet asks, what's the worst Airsoft gun you've ever used?
The worst Airsoft gun? I think it's actually the first Airsoft sniper I ever owned. It was an AGM MP001, and I know everybody who used it will confirm it. Terrible gun. I did have a look inside once. It's a very long time ago. I wish I would still have the gun so I can compare it to the SSG and see what's improved to the designs back then. But I remember that the barrel itself, it was just a pipe. Like seriously, it was just a pipe. There was no hop-up window cut. But the hop-up window cut was a plastic plug you plugged onto the pipe. Super primitive, so we basically shot from the plastic piece into the brass barrel. It was the worst design ever.
Alexander wants to know, how did you and Fabi meet?
I remember I met him back at my first game at the urban area, and the reason why I talked to him was because he was the only person on the entire field who had a sniper rifle who shot consistently. So I was teaming up with him, and we immediately found out that we have a very similar play style. And I did like his sniper rifle, his Marusen Type 96, because those are not manufactured anymore and they are very rare. So I wanted to have a look at the gun. That's how we started talking, and since then he's my sniper buddy.
Sam wants to know, you could run your own milsim in any country. Which would it be, and what terrain, and why?
So first of all, I would choose the country where I get the most support from the local army. And I think this would be Russia. I mean, when I think back of Wargame 9, it was just insane. The Russian army, they provided all tanks and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't seen this video, you should go check it out. I will link it in the video description. It was a milsim with tanks and armored troop carriers and all that kind of stuff. So it would be Russia. From the terrain, I think I would probably even go with Austria. Would like to have the support of the military, but then the Austrian terrain, I would go into the Alps. Because that's something that I've never seen, that people play in the actual mountains. That's something I would really like to do, because you can, just climb the mountain and get the elevation advantage.
Airsoft German wants to know, what was your most painful Airsoft injury?
I think it was the funny bone. I was hit once, only by an AHE with 400 FPS. At maybe 2 meters on this spot right here. I'm sure you guys know, if you touch this just a little bit, it hurts like a motherfucker. But if you get shot by an HE, it's terrible.
I am from India and I want to start airsofting, but there are no such places here, and I don't even know anybody who plays airsoft. Help me, please.
Well, from what I know, airsoft is not allowed in India. At least we're not sending SSGs to India, because the import is super restricted. So the closest country where I know you can play airsoft is Thailand. So maybe you can just, fly there and play. Or you can also try, make it legal in your country and, grow an airsoft community. But that's going to be hard. That's for sure. When I'm reading stuff like this, I'm really glad that I live in a region where airsoft is, completely legal. Also the FPS are quite high, so we can shoot at very far distances. If you look at, Italy or Portugal or Japan, they already have the restrictions to 1 joule, which limit the sport a little bit. And then there are also countries like India, Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, where airsoft is just not allowed. Sorry guys, I hope one day you will also be able to play airsoft.
Call sign Gizzo asks, bipod or no bipod?
The only reason why I would take a bipod is for, backyard coke can shooting or something like this. Then for photo shoots, I like it. And for, testing different barrels and stuff like this. But that's really it. For in-game, for playing airsoft, and especially the rule of the airsoft sniper, just no, I wouldn't use it. Maybe for an LMG, for a really heavy one, or for a minigun or stuff like this. Yeah, you can use one. For the sniper, definite no, you don't need a bipod. Unless you use some Barrett M82 or an M200 intervention, then due to the weight. But those weapons are completely unpractical anyways. So, general rule of thumb is no bipod.
Tim asks, do you have a job?
Yeah, I make videos once in a while, and I try to grow a business here by, developing the new gun that I made, the SSG. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I call a job.
Which video did you have the most fun filming?
I would say Nerf versus Airsoft. That was hilarious. The entire day. No, actually, it was the grenade only. That was the best day ever. It was with Chet Desert Fox, Unicorn Leah, and Airsoftology Jonathan. We were at SC Village, and Airsoft Innovation supplied us with, I think, 25 cyclone grenades, and we just threw them all over the place. That was quite funny. If you haven't seen the video, the link is in the video description.
The House Gamer asks, if you could redo any moment in the past 3 years differently, what would it be?
Tough question. I mean, when I look at the past 2 years, I don't have many regrets. It's just a few. The way that things are going right now, I really love how everything turned out. But what I can definitely say, I did lose quite a lot of girlfriends because I was focusing so much on the job and I didn't do anything on the side. But then again, it's a coming and going, so it doesn't really matter. I did, sometimes I didn't invest enough time in friendships because I was focusing so much on work, like on YouTube, playing Airsoft and that kind of stuff. So that's what I regret a little bit. After games, when other people, hang out until late at night, I always went home a little bit earlier to secure the footage and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I do regret a little bit, that work and YouTube and airsoft sniping kind of took over my life, but then I think I'm good. I think it's fun what I'm doing. I'm pretty satisfied.
Justin asks, are you going to do reviews on airsoft products? It would help us a lot.
Yes, I do reviews once in a while. I have a second channel actually. Link will be again in the video description. Now the second channel is more for, actual airsoft player needs, because the first channel is kind of turning into an entertainment channel right now, which is good, but then for people who want to know more about gear and what I'm using and what I like and what I don't like, second channel is the way to go. By the way, if any companies are watching this, send me free stuff so I can review it.
Team Fortress 2 asks, how was your experience in the military? Was it fun and good because you learned and got better, or was it tough and unforgiving?
So the first 6 months that I did, the first 6 months sniper training, those were really tough. We had to cut down on sleep. We sometimes just slept a few hours every week. We spent a lot of time out in the forest. No shower, marching hundreds of miles. It was a tough time. It was a good time, but it was a tough time. But then the 14-day sniper training that I did very recently, where I did the vlog series, that was pretty fun. It was very compact and, just the fun stuff and, like shooting, flying helicopters, all that kind of stuff. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that one. By the way, if you haven't seen those vlogs, link is again in the video description. Check it out. It was a ton of work first to edit. It was a ton of work to, get all the footage. So please check it out. This is kind of like a referrals to links in the video description video. We should call this the Knowledge Link Recommendation Show. Okay, next question.
That's it for today.
That's it? Okay, alright. Thank you guys for, throwing all those questions at me. Can't wait to do another question answers. And yeah, on Thursday there will be another Airsoft gameplay. Really cool one. Will be another Airsoft Sniper. Urban Sniper. Airsoft Sniper as always. So we'll see you guys on next Thursday.